All right, guys, today I'm going to be going over how to deal with losing trades, right? How to deal with the psychology of losing a trade, how to get back into the game, and how really it's not a big deal if you know what you're doing. In fact, if you lose a trade, you should react the same way that you would if you win a trade, because ultimately you're not trading for the P&L, you're trading due to your rule set that you know on a long enough period of time is going to be positive, right? If you have a science-backed or a data-backed trading system, right? So we're going to go over this trade recap here on CRV. I posted this publicly on YouTube. I also call this inside of the pro group. And this was a stop out trade, okay? So I was targeting these equal highs up here to the left. We were at our key level. I'll jump into the strategy portion in just a moment, but this was a stop out trade, meaning I lost money on this. This wasn't a break even. This was a stop loss. So as soon as I enter the trade, it literally just dumped straight down. I'll kind of jump into why I think this happened or why I know this happened and how I could have potentially avoided it. But at the same time, right, I am following a system that I know works on a long enough period of trades. This is going to be profitable, right? And I know this as well because I back tested this with our new Monday range algo, okay? So you can just look left, do the back testing yourself on a long enough period of time, 70% of the time, this is going to play out, even like 80% of the time. This just happened to be one of those weird days where everything seemed to line up. It just didn't play out in our favor. And that's going to happen. Trading is just a small or a slight statistical edge in the markets. It doesn't mean you're going to win every single trade, right? People come into trading wanting to make money, but they don't realize that you have to lose money as well. Losing is part of the game. So if you guys don't want to set up your chart, line up the perfect technical trade, and then end up not making money, if you guys don't want to do that, you guys want to make money every single day, then you guys can work a job, you can get into other fields, other businesses, because in trading, everything could be right and you can still lose a trade. And that's just how it works. So looking at CRV here, I'll kind of explain the strategy behind this trade, why this was a beautiful trade setup. In fact, I would rate this, guys, probably an A setup, not an A plus setup due to what Bitcoin was doing. And you always need to watch Bitcoin, which I knew that going into this trade. So it wasn't an A plus setup, but this was an A setup, meaning anytime I get this setup on my chart, I am going to take it. Okay, so we're actually going to turn off Easy Algo for a second here because this was mainly based off of the Monday range trading strategy. So number one, right, high time frame bias. I go to a 4-hour time frame. What do I see? I see price kind of consolidating here. So longs and shorts are going to be valid here. I'm interested in taking either a long or a short, just depending on what the price action shows me. Another piece of confluence I see here for the long side is that we've broken out of this key level. Okay, this key Easy Algo level. Price history here, right? Acted as support, resistance, flip back to support, resistance. And we had broken out of this level and displaced, right? This is a strong breakout move to the upside. This isn't just a little dinky little close above and then retest. No, this is a strong displacement move up and a nice ABC correction down, right? Not a real aggressive pullback down, but just kind of a soft landing, I like to call it, back into that zone there, right? So we had that market structure break. We had that displacement move up. It looks bullish, right? And CRV was up until this point showing a lot of local strength as well. So we also had that confluence. Okay, we also had the local golden pocket fib or our local optimal trade entry, which is the 0.618 to 0.786 fib, overlapping our zone as well for some more added confluence. And we had that Monday range low, right, on our Monday range indicator. So I was looking for a sweep of the Monday range low, tag into the zone, and then reclaim for that long trigger with bullish divergences. We got all of this, guys. Keep in mind, I posted this setup in advance. I'm typing out what I want to see in advance. We got all of that, right? We saw bullish divs right here, boom, and then even on a slightly higher time frame here, if we go into like replay mode, you can see that at the time, this looked very bullish. Right, you can see momentum was curling to the upside. It looked like we're forming these massive bullish divergences here, right, after taking out the Monday range lows. So this is a setup that I'm going to take every single time, guys, right? There's nothing wrong with this from a technical perspective. We also had some equal highs above, or you can say just liquidity levels above that we need to take out. So, I'm not mad at myself, guys, right? I followed my rules. It ended up dumping. Now, what's the reason for this? Well, we take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin dumped as well, okay? Which I was expecting Bitcoin to dump. In fact, I posted inside of the Discord as well that this was going to be my main draw on liquidity for Bitcoin. So even though price was all the way up here, I said, you know what? If we don't clear this high, I still think we're going to come down lower, right? And you can see that we ended up doing just that. So obviously when Bitcoin dumped, CRV and the altcoins obviously followed as well. So in this case, kind of unfortunate because this was a really good setup on CRV. So you can see as I'm going over this trade, as I'm talking you guys through why I took the setup, I'm not super emotional, right? Like, do you guys see me upset with myself? Do you guys see me kind of like panicking almost? I'm the exact same I would be after I win a trade. If you did a side-by-side video of a recap where I win a trade and a recap of where I lose a trade, I'm going to be the exact same in both videos, because at the end of the day, I'm not focused on that daily P&L. I'm focused on the P&L over time, over an extended period of time, right? And this is what's also kind of tricky about trading, especially when you don't have a real trading mentor and you're trying to figure this out on yourself, is that you can take 3 losing trades in a row and you want to quit trading, right? Not understanding that that might just be a losing streak over the span of, let's say, 25 trades, where you're going to be extremely profitable, maybe even double your account in that period of 25 trades, but you just happened to have 3 losing trades in a row following your system, which might be a proven system. And that's kind of like the psychological difficulty with trading, is that you can do every single thing right and you can lose a trade, and you can also do every single thing wrong and win a trade. You know, that's why sometimes I'll see members in my group who post a winning trade, a positive P&L, but the risk to reward is terrible, their trade thesis is terrible, and they got lucky on a trade. It's hard to tell people who are new to this industry that, hey, even though you might have made money on this trade, you're not going to be profitable 10 trades in the future, because this system does not work. And that is the beauty about my trading system, about the strategies that I teach you guys for free on this YouTube channel, is that you can go and backtest them. It is a proven edge in the markets, meaning if you take 100 trades, you are going to be profitable following those 100 trades, right? Like, this is a beautiful setup here. This is the 1-2 into the key level, into the golden pocket, bullish momentum. You know, Bitcoin just happened to drop this morning, and that's why the altcoins followed. But if we look left, if we backtest this strategy, you know, again, sweep of liquidity, let's see, sweep of this liquidity as well, right? Bearish momentum, boom. You know, that's a 3-4 risk to reward right there. You're already making back like multiple losses in one winning trade, right? Just by following your rules. But during these periods, right, you can see the past month, you know, we haven't even missed a trade with this, but during these periods, you know, another winning trade there. I'm trying to find a losing trade here. That one was the winning one. Let's say this one, right? During these periods, you're going to have trades like this. Not that I would ever take this trade, by the way, but let's just say I did. You know, there's going to be trades like this within the collection of, let's say, 10 or 20 or 30 trades that you take, which you will take and lose money on those because they still do follow the rules. And that's where you have to put your pride aside and just say, you know, if it follows my rules, I'm going to take this trade. If it hits my stop loss, it hits my stop loss, right? If it hits my invalidation, I'm wrong. Okay, I was wrong on this idea. I'm okay to admit that I was wrong. Now we're on to the next one, right? Now we're on to the next trade. And I know that over the span of the next 3 to 4 trades, I'm going to make back this loss times 3, times 4. And I'll show you guys. I'll probably make more trade recaps on this channel showing you guys that, right? Because I'm confident in my strategy. I only wait for A+ setups, and I'm not super emotional, right? The last thing I'm going to do here after losing a trade is doubling down and trying to make it back on the next trade, right? That's stupid. That's where people get caught, you know, in that domino effect where they lose a trade, they double down, they increase the risk. And now you're gambling, right? Now you don't have an edge in the market anymore, because there are those certain scenarios where you do have 2 or 3 losing trades in a row. And if you're increasing your risk, you can really blow an account in like 3 trades. But my invalidation was met. I was wrong on this idea, and that's it, right? Like, there's no excuses. I'm not going to blame it on anything. I'm not going to blame it on news. I'm not going to blame it on Trump. I'm not going to blame it on some certain Twitter profile. I'm not going to blame this loss on anyone but myself. But the thing is, I didn't really do anything wrong. So whenever you lose a trade, or even whenever you win a trade, right, ask yourself, did I actually do anything wrong? Like, did I follow my rules or not? If you followed your rules and you have a proven system, which number one, you need. If you guys don't have a proven system, find a proven system. I'd recommend joining the Pro Discord or just watching videos on this channel if you want to find that system, because that is number one. But if you're following your rules and you get stopped out in a trade, it is what it is. When I say a certain model has a 70 or 80% win rate back tested, what that means quite literally is that out of 10 trades that have an A+ setup, you will only win 7 to 8 out of them. Meaning on 2 or 3 of them, guess what? You're losing, even though they're A+ setups. even though it's following your strategy, you will still lose at times, okay? Because markets are volatile, and that is the industry that you guys are getting in. If you guys don't want to deal with ups and downs, you guys don't want to deal with losses, then don't trade, okay? But on the upside, you also deal with big wins, right? Like this was a win from today that a few of our members took actually on the 15-minute time frame, right? This short here on virtuals, sweeping the Monday high, algos flashing sell signals, right? Buy dot, boom. Here was a sweep of the Monday range. Stop loss at the top of that candle, targeting Monday range low. 2.5 risk to reward. So, unfortunately, I did not get into this trade personally, but a few of our members did, right? If you caught this trade, this is 2.5, right? 2.5 risk to reward. Oh, not TT, RR. When you lose a trade, like the one we just lost, it's -1R. Remember, we're risking the same percentage amount of our portfolio per trade, okay? So the last trade that we just lost, CRV, is -1. And this one, if you had taken, obviously, was a +2.5. So you should still be, if you took both of these trades, 1.5 RR in profit. But yeah, just want to jump into the more psychology aspect of this, how to deal with yourself. And it really comes down to just trusting your strategy and trusting your system. If you don't actually trust the model that you're trading and don't completely understand it, then you're doomed to fail from the start, in my opinion. Then it's going to be very difficult to stick to those rules compared to if you actually understand what you're trading, how price is moving, you understand the ins and outs of your system. It's going to be much easier to trust your system, stick to it, and make profits over a long enough period of time. Well, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys found value. If you did, make sure to leave a like. If you guys want access to my own custom trading indicators, as well as to join the pro community where you guys can learn directly from myself and other full-time crypto traders, then make sure to click the first link in the description below. Subscribe to the channel for more trading content, and I'll see you guys next video.